At the moment, I'm a bit mixed on the new series. It's great to see certain aspects come back, but there's also a lot of new and other returning aspects that are not so great. There's something else I want to focus the video on later on, so I'm going to start a bit with some cliff notes about what I think. Really liking the art style. It's so vibrant and colorful to look at. Everyone's redesigns are solid too, not just the main characters, but just everyone else. It's cool to have that moment when you're watching a returning series and you see a character and it's like, holy fuck, it's them! I'm not the biggest fan on the new opening. I still way prefer the original one in terms of the theme song, but it's great to see the returning gag of Oscar shutting the door on whoever's featured in the episode. Speaking of which, I think the show for the most part nails the slapstick, nonsensical comedic moments. There was a lot of absurdity going on in the original series, like Oscar trying to fix the TV and then just getting zapped right into it, and stuff like that. Of which Louder and Prouder still carries on that spirit. In fact, I might even say it's at its best when it comes to visual humor. At the least, I think a lot of it lands pretty well. One major note I want to touch on is how they handle this series in relation to the original. So this is a reboot, but also a continuation where the old series still happened. It's heavily implied in the first episode, but I was admittedly still unsure if that's what they were going for. And then in the following episodes, you have Oscar Proud and Wizard Kelly referencing the basketball match from the old series, and even more damning than that, Frankie's there and Penny directly referencing the episode She's Got Game, where she joins the football team. So I don't know what the hell to feel about this show's canon. On one hand, I'm glad it is an actual sequel to the old series rather than just starting completely new. But on the other hand, what is up with the whole same age yet different era thing? I know it's a cartoon thing where shows like The Simpsons or Family Guy somewhat do the same thing, where they stay contemporary to whatever year it is and everyone's still the same age, but occasionally they reference the old episodes. The difference here is Proud Family was never an ongoing series. It went away and then came back, so I suppose you could still apply that same cartoon logic, but it feels way more noticeable when there's an almost 20-year time gap between the old series ending and it coming back with a brand new series. It's usually one or the other, reboot or sequel, but this is both. I just kind of wonder how they're gonna go about the idea in the future. Let's talk about Penny's friends, because that certainly isn't tiresome. Yeah, they're still lame. For better or worse, they're essentially the same as how they were in the old series. Actually, wait, no they're not. Michael's back and he's an egotistical jerkwad. It's nice that they made Michael a permanent part in Penny's friend group, but I don't like the changes. And no, it has nothing to do with him being more open about himself. No, the change that I dislike is his attitude. I mean, he always sort of had a bit of that sass in the original series, but now it's just a full-on I'm better than all of you mentality. I wouldn't say he's outright awful like a certain someone, but him being so condescending and full of himself just makes it a little annoying to watch. Also, he had the worst introductory joke in the show, and Dejanay is actually, I think, kind of worse. There's literally 2 separate episodes where Dejanay is being sworn to secrecy by Penny to not talk about certain things, only to immediately reveal the secrets for whatever bogus reason. It's so ridiculous, but whatever, it is what it is. And then there's Maya and KG, because Sticky got the boot. KG is really just a less memorable Sticky in my opinion. He fulfills that same role as Sticky as being the tech whiz guy and also a love interest to Dejanay, but now he's a and doesn't really talk as much. Ultimately, he's fine, but it's just obvious that they really needed someone to fill that Sticky role without actually having Sticky. Maya did not leave a good first impression. She was brought into the show to clash with Penny idealistically, but here's a problem. Penny's friends already go against her on a regular basis. We didn't need to add another new character into the mix for that. Apart from that, she's also like a social activist kind of character, which I don't know if it really works all the time. Unfortunately, it sometimes boils down to insert social activist related statement here for a joke or something. Maybe I'm a little too down on her because of how she gave Penny the cold shoulder early on, but so far I'm not really feeling anything from this character. Introducing Maya and having that conflict with Penny is basically what episode 1 was about. Episode 2 though, wow, that was not great. It was basically a mix of the episode A Star is Scorned, where Penny becomes a pop idol and lets it go to her head, and Pulp Boot Camp, where Penny pretends to be a part of the Girl Sisters to get a story, only to actually become like a bad girl. And when I say it's a mix of those 2 episodes, I do not mean in a good way. The premise of episode 2 is that she uses social media to cancel an internet makeup artist for being an asshole, And then she herself becomes a bad social media influencer, and she gains a radical following because of that. She acquires that same egotistical attitude back when she was Panay, while also having the goal to get in a spat with her own family, namely Sugar Mama. I'm just really surprised that for the second episode of the new series, they decide to pull from 2 older episodes that show Penny in a more antagonistic role. And I like those 2 episodes too, especially a Pulp Boot Camp. But for Bad Influencer, the name of this episode, she just went overboard in how relentless she was, with no real development compared to a Pulp Boot Camp. And in case anyone wants to know what I think about When You Wish Upon a Roker, I think it's stupid as fuck that this happened for a 3rd time, but it's also a little funny that they indirectly confirmed that he works for Satan. It wasn't offensively terrible, but it sure as hell wasn't great. I'd have to imagine that a lot of you guys who are familiar with the old series are on the same boat with me on that. All in all, it's an okay follow-up to the Proud Family. I'm just a little mixed on some of the decisions they decide to make with this series. I'm also a little mixed on how in-your-face it is with a lot of the modern references. I find some of it funny, but otherwise just very groan-worthy. In all likelihood, it's probably just not for me. I don't think I'll actively keep up with it, but I'll try to catch whatever new episodes that come out. That's probably it on what I have to say for now. So thanks for watching, and until next time.